Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth almost effortlessly, as if an invisible magnet were constantly drawing abundance toward them? At the same time, others work harder, sacrifice more hours, and invest greater energy, yet never manage to cross that invisible line separating simple survival from real financial success. This is not about luck, being born into a wealthy family, having strong connections, or holding impressive academic degrees. There is something far deeper at work behind the scenes, something most people never uncover because they have been trained to search for answers in the wrong places. What I'm about to share is not a modern self-help idea or a short-term motivational technique that fades after a few days. It is ancient knowledge, wisdom quietly passed down through generations of prosperity for thousands of years, carefully protected by those who understood its real power. And it all centers on a single word. Yes, just one word carrying a frequency so powerful that when you truly understand it and apply it with awareness, your relationship with money can change permanently. Before we continue, please like the video and let me know in the comments which part of the world you're watching from today. It's always interesting to see where everyone is joining from. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Charles Francis Haanel, one of the most respected teachers in the study of the subconscious mind and the universal laws of manifestation, spent decades exploring the connection between human consciousness and material reality. One of Charles's most important insights was the understanding that words are far more than simple tools of communication. They are not just sounds we speak or symbols we write. Words act as living forces, carrying specific vibrational frequencies that shape, influence, and actually build the structure of our daily experiences. Charles often said that your word is your magic wand, filled with power. He did not mean this in a poetic or symbolic way. He meant it based on a deep understanding of how energy operates at a fundamental level. Take a moment to think about that. Every time you speak, you are not simply moving the air around you. You are sending waves of energy into the universe, waves that carry intention, emotion, and meaning. These waves interact with the invisible field of possibilities that constantly surrounds us. The same field modern quantum physics is beginning to explore and ancient spiritual traditions understood thousands of years ago. Have you ever experienced this? You say something with real conviction and suddenly feel a shift inside you, as if an inner switch has been activated that you never noticed before. That feeling is not coincidence or mental suggestion. It is clear evidence that you are engaging with a real spiritual mechanism. Stay with me until the end, because what you are about to learn may challenge everything you believe about how wealth is created. The specific word we are discussing has been hidden in plain sight for centuries, spoken casually by millions of people without any awareness of the dormant power it carries. Initiated masters knew it. Mystics who understood the laws of manifestation knew it. Families that built wealth generation after generation also knew it, even if many could not fully explain why it worked. Now it is your turn to know it, and more importantly, to understand it beyond surface-level awareness. Let me take you deeper, because this is where most people lose sight of the truth. We live in a universe where absolutely everything vibrates. Your body, the air you breathe, the screen you are looking at right now, even your thoughts. All of it is energy in motion, waves of frequency operating at different levels. Here is the point that changes everything. Every syllable that leaves your mouth is not just sound moving through space. It is a vibrational wave passing through the quantum field of infinite possibilities that surrounds you every second. When you speak a word with intention and awareness, you are sending a precise signal into that invisible field, and the field responds by organizing itself to match the frequency you have transmitted. Charles Francis Haanel understood this at a depth few people ever reach. He knew that real transformation does not come from forcing the external world, manipulating circumstances, or struggling against life. True change occurs when you align your inner frequency with what you want to experience. Words are the most direct, immediate, and powerful tool you have to make that adjustment. Think of it like tuning a radio to hear a specific station. You must adjust the dial until the frequency matches exactly. Your consciousness functions in the same way. Each time you speak from fear, lack, or scarcity, you tune yourself to the frequency of not enough. And the universe, neutral and precise, reflects more of that experience back to you. But when you speak from wholeness, confidence, and the recognition that abundance already exists within you, something remarkable begins to take shape. If this content resonates with you, subscribe to the channel. Here, we explore practical knowledge about manifestation and abundance that leads to real transformation. I want you to stay with me on this journey. Now, let's go even deeper, because something extraordinary has been happening for thousands of years without most people noticing it. This word, the vibrational key that unlocks the flow of prosperity, has been right in front of us the entire time. It was never hidden in secret texts or locked away in guarded vaults. Instead, it became so commonly used, so routine, that its deeper meaning was diluted and reduced to a simple greeting. Millions of people say this word every day without realizing they are touching an ancient spiritual mechanism designed to activate higher states of awareness. The ancient masters, those who truly understood the laws governing manifestation, knew this word was not just a polite exchange. It was a declaration of awareness, a vibrational recognition of wholeness and harmony with the creative forces of the universe. Wealthy individuals of earlier generations used it intuitively, perhaps, without understanding the mechanics behind it, but sensing that it carried a unique power. Mystics protected it, sharing it only with those ready to use it responsibly. Meanwhile, society continued to repeat it mechanically, stripping it of meaning until no one paused to question what they were truly invoking. That is the greatest irony. The most powerful tools for transformation are always in plain sight, available to everyone. Yet they often go unnoticed, because we have been conditioned to search for the extraordinary in complex and unfamiliar places. The deeper truth exists in what is obvious, quietly waiting for someone to awaken and recognize it for what it truly is. If something I'm sharing resonates with you, if it feels like a truth your inner self already knew but couldn't clearly define, write in the comments, "I recognize this truth." Now let me point out something you have likely experienced without fully understanding it. At some moment in your life, you have spoken certain words and immediately felt a shift inside, as if something moved within you, like touching an invisible current running through your nervous system. It is not dramatic or exaggerated. It is subtle, yet unmistakable. Perhaps you were facing a difficult situation and someone said something that reached you deeply. Or maybe you spoke to yourself differently and noticed your emotional state change almost instantly. What you experienced was neither coincidence nor a psychological placebo. It was direct evidence that you were connecting with a frequency that exists beyond ordinary language. Words function as energetic structures. Each carries a distinct vibrational pattern that activates specific responses in your body, your mind, and your electromagnetic field. When you say love, there is an expansion in your chest. When you say fear, there is contraction. This is not imagined. Your nervous system reacts in real time to the energetic information within those sounds. This is how language operates at a quantum level, within layers of reality that science is only beginning to measure, but spiritual traditions have understood for thousands of years. Charles Francis Haanel was unwavering in teaching a truth many people resist because it challenges the way we are conditioned to pursue success. He explained that you cannot receive what you desire simply by wanting it strongly, visualizing it daily, or repeating affirmations as empty formulas. This approach keeps countless people stuck in frustration, doing everything recommended by self-help teachings, yet seeing no real change. The reason is simple: they are operating from the wrong framework. Charles understood that the secret is not in chasing what you want, but in becoming it first, within your consciousness, your frequency, and the way you relate to yourself and the universe. This is not symbolic language meant to sound appealing. It is the fundamental law of manifestation in a universe governed by precise vibrational principles. When you speak from lack, when your words carry the energy of I don't have, I need, or maybe someday, you transmit the frequency of absence. The universe, acting as a perfect mirror, can only reflect that same absence back to you, not as punishment, but as a direct response to the signal you are sending. This is physics in action. Most people live in constant pursuit, seeking abundance while unconsciously broadcasting scarcity through their words, thoughts, and fear-based decisions. Then they wonder why nothing changes, why wealth always seems out of reach. No matter how much effort they apply, the issue lies in frequency. Not effort, it lies in being, not doing. If you are beginning to see how your own words have shaped your financial reality, write in the comments, "Now I see it clearly." Here is a perspective that can completely reshape how you understand the creation of your reality. The universe is not listening to your requests, judging whether you deserve them, or deciding if today is your lucky day. That belief keeps many people trapped in disappointment. The truth, clearly understood by teachers like Charles Francis Haanel, is that the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. It reflects your deepest state of being, the frequency you emit from your core. When you speak the sacred word we are discussing with true understanding, not as a mechanical habit, you are not asking for prosperity as a favor. You are declaring that you already are prosperity. You are informing every cell, every thought, and the entire quantum field around you that abundance is not something separate you must chase. It is your natural state, your original condition. This declaration reorganizes your internal system, and as a result, the external world begins to mirror that new frequency. Many people treat manifestation like a checklist. They add affirmations to their routine, visualize briefly, repeat positive phrases, and then wait for results. When nothing changes, they dismiss the process as ineffective. But the issue was never the principle itself. The issue was misunderstanding how it works. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is applied vibrational science, an ancient understanding of sound and frequency mastered long before modern measurement tools existed. Ancient civilizations knew that specific sounds, spoken with awareness and intention, could shift consciousness, restore balance, and expand perception. They did not believe this blindly. They experienced it and passed it down through generations. At the center of this knowledge is a simple truth. A carefully chosen word spoken with full awareness can instantly recalibrate your entire energetic system. Your body functions as a constantly active receiving and transmitting antenna. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every word you speak adjusts the frequency of that transmission. The universe, operating under fixed vibrational laws, responds by aligning your external reality with that internal signal. When you change the frequency at the source, when you transform your state of being from within, everything else must follow. There is no alternative. This is physics, not philosophy. It is quantum mechanics in action, even though it is carried out through consciousness rather than laboratory instruments. If you feel something deep settling into place right now, write in the comments, "I understand the frequency." This is where it becomes truly compelling, because we are not discussing abstract ideas or beliefs that require blind faith. When you speak this word with genuine understanding, from a place of full awareness rather than mechanical repetition, something real and measurable occurs within your nervous system. This is not symbolic language. It is biology responding to frequency. Your brainwave patterns shift, your heart rate adjusts, your breathing changes. Your entire electromagnetic field, the invisible yet very real energy surrounding your body, begins to resonate at a different level. If monitoring equipment were connected to you at the moment you spoke this word with true intention, the data would change instantly. We would see your brain move from beta waves, the state of constant mental activity where most people remain trapped, into alpha or even theta waves. These are states where the subconscious becomes accessible and deep conditioning can take place. Your heart, which is not merely a mechanical pump, but a powerful electromagnetic generator, would enter coherence. Its rhythms would become organized and harmonious rather than scattered. The energy field around you, sometimes called the aura, but simply the result of electrical activity within the body, would expand, strengthen, and begin vibrating in alignment with abundance rather than survival. Charles Francis Haanel explained this clearly when he taught that words are molds in which thoughts take shape and become form. Think of your thoughts as raw energy without direction, like water that takes the shape of whatever container holds it. Words are those containers. When you speak words of limitation, you pour mental energy into restrictive molds, and your experience solidifies accordingly. When you speak words of abundance with conviction, you pour that same energy into expansive molds, and reality adjusts to match. This process is similar to tuning a musical instrument. If you have ever played a guitar that is out of tune, you know that no matter how skilled the musician, the sound feels wrong and uncomfortable. The moment the strings are adjusted to the correct frequency, the instrument comes alive and harmony flows naturally. Consciousness works the same way. You can have strong intentions, work tirelessly, and push yourself to exhaustion. But if your internal frequency is misaligned, if your words are not properly calibrated, your results will remain frustrating. Once you learn to tune your inner instrument, once you master speaking from the correct frequency, change begins to occur with a level of ease that can feel unexpected. If you are starting to understand why your past efforts did not produce the results you expected, write in the comments. Now I understand the misalignment. Now consider something you are likely doing every day without realizing it. Most people move through life speaking words casually, as if language were harmless, unaware that every phrase acts as a command programmed directly into the subconscious mind. They say things like, "I can't afford that," or "money is tight right now," or "I'll never get out of this situation." They believe they are simply describing facts. In reality, they are issuing precise instructions about which reality to continue experiencing. At the same time, they are broadcasting a clear frequency into the quantum field, one that signals continued scarcity. The subconscious mind operates like an operating system. It does not analyze or question the quality of the instructions it receives. It simply executes them. Repeated words, habitual thoughts, and personal narratives become the programs that shape experience. Once you recognize this mechanism, once you see how you have been unconsciously reinforcing limitation, you also realize that deliberate reprogramming is possible. It is like discovering you have always held the remote control to your life, but have been tuning into the wrong channels. This word we are discussing, this ancient vibrational key, has the ability to shift your operating frequency in a lasting way. It moves you from the frequency of seeking, which carries the energy of constant chasing, into the frequency of being, where you exist as the embodiment of what you desire. It transforms wanting, which implies lack, into having, which reflects inherent abundance. It lifts you from aspiration, which keeps fulfillment in the future, into embodiment, which brings it into the present moment. Here is the part that is both liberating and challenging. Once you truly understand vibrational alignment, once clarity arrives, and you clearly see how your words, thoughts, and emotional choices have shaped your reality, you cannot return to unawareness. This understanding cannot be undone, just as learning to read permanently changes how you see written symbols. This insight ends unconscious creation. With it, any justification for continued scarcity disappears. If you feel that sense of no return, write in the comments, "I can't go back now." Charles Francis, Haanel described this moment as awakening to the truth. He explained that this awakening brings a deep and lasting freedom because it reveals that your financial reality, what you may have blamed on circumstances, systems, or other people, was never truly determined by those external factors at all. All this time, every dollar that entered or left your life, every opportunity that appeared or disappeared, every door that opened or closed, has been the direct result of the internal frequency you consistently maintained and expressed through your words, thoughts, and core beliefs. This realization can feel uncomfortable at first because it removes the comfort of excuses. It means you can no longer place responsibility on the outside world for your inner state. Yet that initial discomfort quickly turns into a powerful awareness, the understanding that if this reality was created unconsciously, it can also be created differently through conscious choice. If your frequency produced scarcity while you were operating on autopilot, consider what it can produce when guided with clear intention. Now, let's go deeper into how this process actually works. There is a fundamental principle that supports not only this teaching but every authentic system of manifestation throughout human history. Consciousness always precedes form. Nothing in the material world appears without first existing as a possibility in consciousness. A house exists first in the architect's mind before becoming brick and concrete. A phone exists first as an idea before becoming a physical object. In the same way, your current financial situation existed first as a pattern of consciousness, a repeated frequency of thoughts, beliefs, and words, until it solidified into lived experience. Your state of being functions as an invisible mold that determines what forms your external life can take. When that state changes, when your core frequency shifts, the external world must reorganize to match it. This is not magic. It is the structure of reality itself. Language plays a central role in this process. The words you consistently choose act as the bridge between the invisible world of thought and the visible world of matter. Each word builds that bridge, carrying energy from your inner world into your outer experience, turning the intangible into something tangible. If you are beginning to grasp the significance of this, write in the comments. Consciousness comes first. This is where modern science begins to align with what ancient traditions understood long ago. Quantum physics, the field that studies reality at its most fundamental level, has confirmed a principle that once seemed impossible: observation influences outcome. Consciousness is not a passive observer. It actively shapes how reality unfolds. Known quantum experiments show that subatomic particles exist as multiple possibilities at the same time until they are observed. At that moment, those possibilities collapse into a single outcome. Now consider what this implies for daily life. If consciousness can influence probability at a subatomic level, then your awareness is also influencing the possibilities surrounding your financial situation. Each time you focus on scarcity, each time you observe life through the lens of "I don't have enough," you collapse countless possibilities of abundance into a single experience of limitation. This is not because the universe is restrictive, but because conscious observation selects which potential becomes real. Ancient teachers did not have scientific instruments, but they understood this principle intuitively. That is why they treated certain words and sounds as sacred knowledge, sharing them only with those prepared to use them responsibly. They knew these words were not simple labels. They were tools of creation, keys that open specific states of consciousness, and through that, specific outcomes in the physical world. The word we are discussing today is one of those preserved tools. Here is a crucial understanding that reshapes how this journey is approached. The movement from scarcity to abundance is not a process of acquiring something you lack. It is not about becoming a different person or reaching a future version of yourself. It is the opposite. It is a process of remembering, of reconnecting with what has always existed at your core before conditioning, past experiences, and inherited beliefs obscured it. When you speak this sacred word correctly, you are not trying to become something new. You are affirming what you already are and have always been. You are reminding every part of your being of a truth that never disappeared, only became hidden beneath layers of conditioning. If you feel that ancient memory beginning to awaken within you right now, write in the comments, "I am remembering who I am." But let's be completely honest, because this conversation has no value unless we are fully sincere with each other. Real transformation, the kind that creates lasting change, not a short-lived motivational boost, requires something from you. It requires courage, not the courage needed for physical risk, but a deeper form of courage, the willingness to step into uncertainty. The courage to release the familiar beliefs you have held on to for years and to question the ideas about money you accepted early in life. It means looking directly at those beliefs and admitting that some of them may not be true. This process asks you to examine the messages you absorbed growing up. The idea that you must work endlessly for money, that wealth is rare, or that rich people are either lucky or unethical. These ideas were repeated so often by family, teachers, and society that they became unquestioned truths. Now you are being asked to look at them carefully and consider that they may be the very patterns keeping you stuck. That can feel unsettling, because those beliefs have shaped your understanding of reality for so long that challenging them feels like losing your footing. Charles Francis Haanel never avoided this truth, and he never presented comforting illusions. He clearly taught that faith without action is ineffective. It produces nothing. You can believe deeply that you deserve abundance. You can visualize it, affirm it, and repeat it daily. But if, when decisions must be made, you continue choosing from fear, if your language around money remains rooted in scarcity, and if you approach opportunities with the same sense of desperation, then nothing changes. True faith is expressed through action. It appears when you are willing to choose differently, even when your mind urges you to stay safe and familiar. Most people want change without discomfort. They want results without altering their behavior. They want abundance without releasing the stories that explain why they cannot have it. As a result, they repeat the same patterns year after year and wonder why nothing improves. But you are not like most people. If you were, you would have stopped watching long ago. You are here because, on a deeper level, you have already decided that this time will be different. If you feel ready not just to learn but to apply what you are learning, write in the comments, "I'm ready to act," no pause, and consider something you may not have consciously reflected on, even though you sense it to be true. The fact that you are here right now, watching this specific video and hearing these exact words, is not random. It is not simply an algorithm or a moment of boredom. Something deeper is at work. This is what Charles Francis Haanel referred to as the divine moment, a principle you can verify through direct experience if you pay attention. It is the moment when the right information reaches the right person at precisely the right time. You do not encounter life-changing knowledge by accident. You do not find meaningful answers simply by chance. Charles understood that universal intelligence does not make mistakes. Every encounter, every book, every conversation, and every piece of information you engage with is aligned with your readiness to receive it. Consider the small choices that led you here today, the moment you picked up your device, the questions you were carrying, the content you ignored, and the one that held your attention. None of it was random. It was guided by an intelligence operating beyond conscious awareness. This is the governing principle. You encounter teachers, insights, and understanding only when you are ready for them. Not earlier, when you could not fully grasp them, and not later, when the opportunity would have passed. Revelation appears when you have prepared internally, when you have asked the right questions, and when you are genuinely ready to move forward. It is as though the universe waits patiently until your inner frequency aligns with what you need next. Every meaningful transformation begins this way, with a single decision, a clear inner moment when you realize you cannot continue as you are. It is the point where remaining the same becomes more painful than the uncertainty of change. Many people never reach this stage. They talk about change, imagine a different life, but remain attached to familiarity because it feels safer than the unknown. Yet something tells me you have crossed that point. The fact that you are still here, absorbing this not just intellectually but at a deeper level, suggests that the decision has already been made within you, even if you have not stated it aloud. That decision is the first and most important step, because everything else follows from it naturally. If you feel that your presence here is not a coincidence, that you arrived at this moment for a reason, write in the comments. This is my moment now. We reach the point where many people lose direction, and I need you to understand this with complete clarity. The gap between real results and ongoing frustration is consistency. Simply knowing this word, understanding how to say it, or grasping its meaning intellectually is not enough. You could memorize it, repeat it hundreds of times a day, even explain it to others, and still see no real change in your financial situation. The reason is simple. The word itself is only a vehicle. Real transformation comes from the consciousness you carry when you speak it. It is the steady faith you feel when you say it, the inner certainty that goes beyond thought and settles at a deeper, almost cellular level. It is the firm decision to become the frequency of what you desire instead of constantly pursuing it from a place of lack. Think of it this way. You may have a perfectly crafted key and try to open a door, but if you use it with doubt, fear, or the shaky feeling of "this probably won't work," the lock will not turn. The same key, used with confidence and certainty, opens the door with ease. Charles Francis Haanel explained this principle clearly in everyday terms. He taught that life operates like a boomerang. This was not a poetic idea or an exaggeration to make a point. It was his way of describing a spiritual law that is as exact and reliable as gravity. Everything you send out, every thought, every emotion, every spoken word, returns to you with precise accuracy, not occasionally, not only when circumstances are favorable, but always. When you send out a boomerang of scarcity by criticizing your financial condition, complaining about difficulties, or focusing on what you cannot afford, it inevitably comes back carrying experiences that match that same frequency. When you send out a boomerang of abundance, speaking with gratitude, recognizing opportunities, and seeing possibilities where others see limits, it also returns. This time, it brings meaningful coincidences, helpful connections, and openings that seem to appear unexpectedly. Most people are throwing these boomerangs continuously without realizing it, and then they are surprised when their life reflects the same patterns again and again. They speak about lack, wonder why chances never appear, and ask for abundance while their words and mindset consistently project limitation. This law works with equal precision in everyday speech. When your daily language is filled with phrases like, "I don't have enough," "it's too expensive," or "I'll never be able to," each statement becomes a boomerang moving at the frequency of scarcity. Reality, acting as a perfect mirror, returns situations that confirm those expectations. But when you begin to embody prosperity, when your words reflect abundance even before your finances visibly change, you shift the frequency of what you send out. Speaking from a deep inner knowing that prosperity is already yours creates a completely different return. New opportunities, meaningful connections, unexpected solutions, and resources arriving from directions you had not considered. It is important to understand that this is not shallow positive thinking or denial of present conditions. It is not pretending everything is fine. It is a description of how consciousness interacts with the field of possibilities around us. When you change your inner frequency through your words, thoughts, and emotional state, you influence the probabilities that shape your physical experience. Charles Francis Haanel was especially clear about the true meaning of faith. Many people believe faith means hoping something might happen or waiting for good luck. He taught that real faith is expectation, not hope. It is the calm certainty that what you desire already exists at the level of consciousness and is moving toward visible form. When you speak from this level of expectation, you are not asking permission from the universe. You are declaring a change that has already taken place within you. You are signaling that your focus has shifted, that you are no longer tuned to scarcity, and that you now operate from a different internal state. External conditions, governed by consistent laws, then begin to reorganize to reflect that shift. And this understanding leads to a complete change in how prosperity is viewed. Most people think abundance comes from collecting more, acquiring what they lack, or chasing opportunities outside themselves. They believe wealth exists somewhere else and must be obtained. In reality, this view is reversed. The real path toward abundance is not about gaining more. It is about removing what no longer belongs. It is the process of letting go of the false beliefs that have covered you like heavy, outdated clothing. These are beliefs that convinced you, sometimes for many years, that scarcity was normal for you, that it was your destiny, or that it defined who you are. Each time you heard phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," another layer was added. Each time you witnessed arguments about money at home, another layer settled in. Each time you were told you were not good with numbers, not meant to be wealthy, or should simply accept less, more layers formed. Over time, these layers piled up so completely that you forgot what was always there beneath them, your original state of abundance. The truth you knew before conditioning taught you otherwise. Now consider something that makes this understanding more practical and real. The chair you are sitting on, the device you are holding, the clothes you are wearing, and even the money in your bank account, whether large or small, are all forms of energy. They are not solid in the way the mind assumes. At a deeper, subatomic level, everything is energy moving at different frequencies, forming patterns that the brain interprets as physical reality. Your current financial situation, the number you see when you check your account, is not fixed or permanent. It is energy arranged at a certain frequency. And here is the key point, that frequency responds directly to the frequency you are expressing. When you operate from scarcity, your financial reality aligns with that frequency. When you operate from abundance, the same energy reorganizes itself to reflect that new state. This happens not as a reward or punishment, but because energy naturally seeks harmony and resonance. Most people misunderstand this process. It is not that you influence your frequency only during meditation or spiritual practices. You influence it constantly, every moment, through your thoughts, words, and emotions. This is an ongoing process that never stops. Even now, as you listen, your inner state is shaping your frequency moment by moment. Charles Francis Haanel devoted his life to explaining these unseen forces that are always active, yet rarely directed with awareness. He taught that we are not helpless participants reacting to external conditions. We are active creators shaping our experience through consciousness. The challenge is that many people do this unconsciously, producing outcomes that do not match what they consciously desire. Imagine that you are always playing an invisible instrument. Each thought is a note. Each word is a chord. Each emotion is a rhythm. The universe responds continuously, arranging circumstances to reflect the music you are producing. Many people unknowingly create patterns of disorder and then wonder why their lives feel out of balance. Charles Francis Haanel explained that when you speak, you are not only exchanging information. At a deeper level, you are sending a specific energetic signal. This signal is received and reflected with precision. Every word carries instruction. Every phrase communicates a direction for experience to take form. When Charles described words as a wand filled with power, he was not speaking metaphorically. He meant it in a literal sense. Words are functional tools that move ideas into form, that translate inner states into outer results. They connect potential with manifestation. They appear ordinary only because most people use them without awareness or intention. It is like holding a powerful instrument and using it without knowing what it can actually do. To feel this directly, try a simple observation. Say the word love aloud with intention, noticing the sensation in your chest and your breath. There is often a sense of openness or expansion. Then say the word hate in the same way and observe the immediate shift. There is usually tension, contraction, or tightness. This is not imagination. It is your nervous system responding to the vibrational quality of language. Your body listens to every word you speak and adjusts itself according to the information it receives. Your electromagnetic field, the invisible but very real energy surrounding your body, expands or contracts depending on whether the words you speak carry frequencies of opening or closing. This is happening constantly with every word, whether you are aware of it or not. Now we arrive at the moment you've been waiting for, the revelation of the word that holds the power to transform your relationship with abundance completely. This word has existed for thousands of years, passed down through generations, casually spoken by millions without anyone understanding even a fraction of its true power. The word is shalom, or in its oldest Aramaic form, shwama. And before you think, I know this word, it's just a greeting meaning peace. Stop there, because what you were taught is only the surface of a much deeper truth. Shalom does not mean peace in the ordinary sense, as simply the absence of conflict or a temporary calm. That diluted translation has obscured its real power for centuries in its deepest original essence. Shalom means completeness. It means absolute wholeness. It is a state where nothing is missing, nothing is broken, and everything is functioning in perfect harmony. It is the vibrational frequency of total sufficiency, recognizing that you are already everything you need to be, and that you already have access to all the infinite possibilities the universe offers. When you pronounce shalom with a true understanding of its meaning, you are not merely greeting someone. You are declaring a state of consciousness. You are activating a frequency that instantly aligns you with the flow of universal abundance. You are affirming that you exist in perfect harmony with the laws of prosperity, and that nothing is lacking because you are already complete in your essence. If you feel this awakening within you, write in the comments, Shalom. I am complete now. Let me explain why this word is so powerful. It connects directly with a principle Charles Francis Haanel taught extensively, the immense creative power of I am statements. Those two simple words, often spoken without thought, are declarations of identity. Charles explained that saying, I am followed by anything, is not a casual observation. It is a declaration of your fundamental state of being. The universe aligns your experience to match exactly what you declare. The difference between saying, I want abundance and I am abundant, is not subtle. It is radical. Saying, I want abundance signals lack, separation, and desire. You are asking for something you do not have, and the universe, reflecting your inner state, keeps you in wanting and seeking. But when you say, I am abundant, you are declaring that abundance is already your essence. It is your present reality, not a distant goal. This is where Shalom becomes an extraordinary manifestation tool. Speaking it with true understanding is not expressing hope for future completeness. You are not saying, I want to feel whole someday. You are declaring that wholeness is your current state, your natural condition, your birthright. Every cell in your body, every thought in your mind, every aspect of your energy field receives the message. You are already complete, already prosperous, already in harmony with the infinite flow of abundance. This is not something you will achieve tomorrow or when you get the right job, money, or opportunity. You are it now. That declaration, rooted in certainty, recalibrates your vibrational frequency instantly. If you feel the power of declaring rather than asking, write in the comments, I am wholeness now. But I need to be clear about something most manifestation teachers avoid because it is not marketable or flattering. You can repeat Shalom 1,000 times a day, whisper it constantly, and it will not change anything if you are distracted. Scrolling through your phone, worrying about bills, or thinking of 100 other things. Mechanical, unconscious repetition is ineffective. This is why so many people get frustrated with affirmations. They use the words while their mind is elsewhere. their attention divided, their emotions anxious or despairing, their body tense. Without internal alignment, the words are empty noise, unable to impact your energy or the quantum field. Charles Francis Haanel explained this clearly. Results come according to what you truly believe, not what you mechanically say with your mouth while your mind contradicts every word. Faith without coherence is powerless. Your subconscious, the vast network directing most of your life, cannot be fooled by words spoken without conviction. You feel the conflict when your mouth says, "I am abundant," while your heart races with financial anxiety, or when you pronounce shalom, but your mind silently lists everything you lack. When coherence is missing, your subconscious ignores the conscious words and continues running old programs. This is the hidden reason why some people see miraculous transformations, while others experience nothing, no matter how diligently they repeat the same words. It's not that these tools work for some and not for others. The difference lies in the presence, genuine conviction, and real belief people bring to the practice. Some go through the motions, waiting for results to appear on their own. If you recognize moments where you've practiced without full presence, write in the comments, "Now I bring my full presence." The key question isn't how much time you spend on this practice, but how much genuine attention and awareness you bring to each moment. Here's something that will free you from the exhausting belief that hours of affirmations are required for results. 5 minutes of fully conscious practice, where your body, mind, and emotions are aligned, can produce more tangible results than 5 hours of distracted repetition. When every cell of your being resonates with what you declare, the impact is measurable, unlike saying the words while your attention jumps around like a restless butterfly. Behind every story of successful manifestation you've heard, every testimony of someone transforming their financial reality, lies this quality of total presence. It wasn't always about who practiced the longest. It was about who brought the deepest belief, unwavering focus, and complete alignment between words and feelings. Transformation comes from intensity of awareness, not quantity of time. This brings us to an element almost everyone overlooks in manifestation. You can know all the right words, read every Charles Francis Haanel book, and understand every principle we've discussed. But if your mouth and your being aren't aligned, nothing will move. Alignment means every part of you points in the same direction. Your conscious mind says, "I am abundant," and your subconscious agrees instead of silently protesting. That's a lie. You pronounce shalom, declaring completeness, and your body relaxes into that truth instead of tensing with anxiety. Your words affirm prosperity, and your daily actions reflect the same frequency rather than contradicting it. True alignment is like turning on a laser. It cuts through resistance. Misalignment, on the other hand, is like driving with one foot on the accelerator and the other on the brake. Most people operate in chronic misalignment without realizing it. They declare abundance while automatic thoughts reinforce limitations. They affirm prosperity while emotions carry financial fear. They speak words of completeness while actions transmit scarcity. And then they wonder why the universe doesn't respond, not realizing the universe mirrors the actual frequency they are sending, not the superficial words they speak. If you notice misalignment in your practice, write in the comments, "I choose total alignment." Now, let's go to the essence of what Charles Francis Haanel emphasized throughout his work. You must become what you desire. Don't act convincingly while knowing you're faking it internally. Don't wait to become it in the future after gaining money, success, or other external markers. Instead, embody the awareness of already having it, being it now in this present moment, without waiting for external conditions. This distinction may seem subtle, but it's crucial. The difference between pretending and being is the difference between a photograph and reality, an imitation and the genuine essence. Pretending to be abundant while feeling poor creates dissonance. Mixed signals to the universe produce mixed or no results. But when you genuinely embody abundance, that certainty radiates from every cell, and the universe responds accordingly. Here's a critical factor few mention. Real transformation begins with regulating your nervous system. Before speaking the word with intention, your body must feel safe. Most operate in chronic stress, with their nervous system on high alert, pumping cortisol and adrenaline. Then they attempt affirmations, hoping words alone overwrite cellular stress. It doesn't work that way. Your body must feel safe first. When your nervous system is calm, your breathing steady, your heart relaxed, and muscles loose, Shalom becomes more than a word. It becomes a powerful catalyst that instantly reorganizes your energy field. If you understand that you must first create calm, write in the comments, "First, I calm my system." Now comes the moment of truth. Genuine intention separates from passing curiosity. Everything we've covered is useless without consistent practice. By consistent practice, I mean committing to Shalom every morning for the next 21 consecutive days. Not 20, not most days, 21 straight days without exception. No matter your circumstances, whether you feel inspired or not, or think it's a waste of time, Charles taught with certainty that your good is on its way. Consistent, faithful practice demonstrates your decision to change. Modern neuroscience confirms what Charles knew intuitively. It takes roughly 21 days of repeated practice for your brain to form new neural pathways. These paths evolve from fragile trails that disappear with distraction into solid highways that your consciousness can navigate automatically. Here's how to maximize this practice. Each morning, before diving into your day, before checking your phone, email, or the news, create a sacred space. You don't need candles, incense, or elaborate rituals, unless that helps you focus. All you need is a quiet space where you can be alone and uninterrupted for a few minutes. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and let that help you focus. Take several deep breaths until your nervous system begins to calm. From that place of calm, spend at least 30 full seconds truly feeling abundance as if it is already present in your life right now. Don't think about abundance. Feel it deeply in your body. Imagine waking up knowing all your needs are met, that money flows effortlessly, and that you are fully financially secure. Let that feeling expand through your chest, relax your shoulders and soften your breathing. When this feeling becomes so real that your body can't distinguish it from your current reality, slowly pronounce the word Shalom with full intention. Feel each syllable resonate throughout your being, fully aware that you are declaring your absolute completeness. Here's the part most people skip because their minds want to rush ahead. After saying the word, remain in total silence for at least 30 more seconds. Allow the vibration you've activated to wash through every cell, every tissue, every corner of your energy field. Don't analyze, plan, or think. Just feel the ripple of that frequency reorganizing your inner reality. If you're ready to commit to these 21 days with no excuses, write in the comments. My 21-day commitment starts now. If you've stayed with me all the way, remained present, and didn't get distracted by the next video or fleeting content that says something important about you, it shows that you are not here for superficial entertainment or temporary motivation. You are here because something inside recognizes that the time for real transformation has arrived, and that deserves acknowledgement. This channel exists precisely for people like you, those ready to go beyond quick fixes and explore knowledge that genuinely transforms lives. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. There are many more insights ahead that can take your understanding and practice to levels you haven't yet imagined. Let me know you made it to the end by writing in the comments. This message was for me. I read every comment, and publicly declaring your commitment sends another powerful boomerang of intention into the universe. If this video brought clarity or shifted your understanding, give it a like. Not for me, but as a signal to the algorithm that this kind of deep, Real content needs to reach more people ready to receive it. And there's a video right here that goes even deeper into working with your subconscious mind to manifest specific abundance. Click and follow me there, because what you've learned here is only the beginning of what's possible when you consciously master these tools. See you on the other side.